We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.
All right, crew, we've got the first severe thunderstorm warning of the day in a location where we told you that we'd probably get some, right, as storms coming down the eastern slopes of the mountains. I am Matt Meister. This is Peaks to Plains Weather. Storm coverage on Peaks to Plains Weather is made possible by Tamco Building Products and their HailGuard shingles beyond Class 4. So I want to take you out first to a couple of camera looks because this first storm of the day that is severe is coming right off the slopes of Pikes Peak. It looks dark from Kissing Camels. We are cooler today behind the cold front that came in last night. And looking at that same storm, and you see the base of it there from Woodman Heights, looking back toward the southwest across Colorado Springs, the metro area toward Cheyenne Mountain, and you can see the well-defined base there. Let's go to Tamco Live Radar and take a look at what we've got with this storm. And I'm going to animate things for you over the last 30 minutes. Developing and getting stronger just to the east of Cripple Creek and just to the east of Victor. This severe thunderstorm has a warning on it until 3:15, so we've got about another 15 minutes or so. And if you look at the vertically integrated liquid, that is how much water is inside the storm. If you take all of the different radar slices, it is indicating that we've got the potential and the likelihood of hail over an inch in diameter. In fact, we are monitoring right now the potential for some hail between 1.25 inches and 1.5 inches in diameter with this storm. Now, it's off to the west of Highway 115. It's just to the east of Cripple Creek and Victor. If you are in these areas and you'd like to come on, give us a look at this storm here. You can put these URLs into your phone. You can do a live report with us. Just hold your phone up, show us what you're seeing in those areas. Make sure you're safe, though. Make sure you're under some covering. I don't want you out in the open with some lightning in the area. But this storm is moving off to the southeast. And as we look at the next 15 to 20 minutes, this storm is going to make a run down the slopes of Pikes Peak. It's starting to use air that has more fuel in it and is probably going to sustain a little bit here as it keeps moving off to the southeast. So for those of you that are in the path of this storm, let me grab kind of the leading edge here of the hail core and move it toward Highway 50, where it starts to get dark there in the blue is where the storm would be moving in about 30 minutes time. So that would get it there at about 3:30. So those of you that have homes to the west of Highway 115, kind of in extreme northeastern Fremont County, extreme southwestern El Paso County, extreme southeastern Teller County, those of you that live just to the west, basically, of Fort Carson, heads up. And the storm is going to move across Fort Carson as well. As I widen the view here on Tamco Live Radar, you can see that there are other storms that are starting to develop fast now. In fact, we've got one up on the Palmer Divide that even in the last 5 minutes since I looked at this has gotten quite strong here just off to the northeast of Monument, about 4 to 5 miles to the north of Palmer Divide Road there, right on the county line. We are very likely to see a severe thunderstorm watch be issued here in the next little bit because this is the beginnings of the pattern that we were talking about. Between now and about 6, we are going to have a risk for some very large hail here along the Front Range, over the city, and for the other locations along the foothills where the storms are moving to the southeast. And you can see a couple developing to the west of Trinidad as well. So right here along the Front Range, we are going to watch very, very closely between now and dinner. This is going to impact things after work. It's going to impact things after school. And, we've seen the storms develop farther to the west like we thought they would in the monsoon plume. But it's the areas that we have where we can use not just the moisture from the monsoon, but also the low-level moisture behind the cold front that came in last night is where these storms are going to be strongest. And we've been hammering on this for about a day and a half now, so this should not be a surprise to you. And like I said, I think here in the next probably 30 minutes, we get a severe thunderstorm watch to be issued for parts of the Front Range and for eastern Colorado, because there's a little alleyway today where these storms are most likely to be severe. And it's going to come in 2 parts. One, in the next few hours, is going to be for some large hail that could be up to around 2 inches in diameter. And then the second piece will be out over the plains this evening as the storms, I think, are going to cluster up a little bit and will transition from a large hail threat to more of a straight line wind with a cold pool threat developing over the plains. And I still think that's how the morphology or the evolution of these storms is going to play out. Skyscan, visible satellite here showing the storms developing. And there's 2 areas of focus that we're watching. One is across a little surface trough that we have out over the eastern plains. You see some storms developing right on the border of Kit Carson and Cheyenne County out here over the plains. And then the other ones are where we thought they would be, kind of over the mountains and right up against the mountain plains interface. And that's going to work out real nicely here. So as those storms that are forming over the hills keep drifting eastward, we'll see them kind of be in that alleyway where we expect the storms to have a threat of some hail. And if I was going to break this in half here, it's about Highway 71. Hail threat to the west of that line and more of a straight line wind threat to the east of that line. That doesn't mean you don't get the hail threat with the wind threat and vice versa. You do. It's just usually you have a mode of severe weather that's most likely, and that's how things are going to play out here through the afternoon. So let me take you from now through the next couple of hours and through the evening. so you can kind of get a handle on how things are going to evolve. Model doing an okay job of showing kind of the timing of everything. It's missing the storms out across the plains. But you see how it takes the storms that are in the Pikes Peak region, kind of in the vicinity of Pikes Peak right now, and rolls them off to the southeast. That'll be the movement of storms that we see. Can I guarantee that these are going to be in these exact same areas? No, I can't. But the, again, evolution and the clustering of storms into the evening gets a little more likely after the next few hours here, where we're seeing the individual storms be the strong ones and capable of producing some hail around an inch in diameter. So for those of you just joining, we are watching the first severe thunderstorm warning of the day, and it is for southwestern El Paso County, southeastern Teller County, northeastern Fremont County until 3:15 for this storm that is rolling off of Pikes Peak. It's weakened a little bit. We have another one over north central Fremont County that's getting a little bit stronger. And we have one that is not too far away from severe levels here, just on the other side of the county line in southeastern Douglas County to the east of I-25. This storm is going to roll off to the southeast here at about 20 miles per hour. And that should take it into northern sections of Black Forest, toward the Eastonville area. We'll keep it to the north of Highway 24 here over the next 45 minutes to an hour. There's another storm back here that we are watching to the south of the Deckers area. That one should stay, I think, to the north of Woodland Park. It'll be a little bit of a close call. We'll keep an eye on that, though. And so, you know, what we expected to happen is getting underway here. What wasn't forecast as well by some of the computer models is a little area of convergence out here along a surface trough. So we have some air together here. That's what's helping to develop these storms. These storms don't necessarily have the instability in the mid-levels of the atmosphere that we have farther to the west. So you see how they've been pulsing a little bit. They're not close to severe levels as of now. They're kind of riding to the east of Highway 287 and 40 and to the north of Highway 40 for the most part, except for that cell that's right on the state line that's moved a little bit farther to the south. So we'll keep an eye on those as well. The stage is getting set here, though, for an active next couple of hours. Right on the Highway of Legends, you can see that we've got a storm here in the vicinity of the Spanish Peaks, east of Highway 12. That one will continue off to the south-southeast as well, so that's another one that we'll keep an eye on as we move through the remainder of our afternoon. So just know that the cells are moving to the southeast. That's the primary direction. We'll get some occasional cells that maybe have a little bit of variance from that. But if it's dark to your northwest, those are the ones you need to pay attention to, and that means a storm is coming your way. Now, obviously, the easiest thing to do is remain indoors, away from windows until the storm passes. Any of these storms can be dangerous due to lightning, and, you know, should stay inside because of that. Lots of the schools have, you know, automatic detection systems, especially the high schools, the secondary schools, where there's more in the way of after-school activities than some of the elementary schools. And they have either an 8 or I heard that CHASA just expanded the requirement to a 10-mile radius around a school, which is pretty significant. It's more than a 50% increase in the area that, you know, they're monitoring for. And if you have kids in high school right now, you know, like once there's a lightning strike in that circle, a timer starts 30 minutes. If a new lightning strike happens, timer starts over. When there hasn't been one in there for 30 minutes, then activities can resume. So given where the storms are right now, going to be a little bit of a rough go here through the afternoon. So let's take a look at our cameras, our hour view cameras here. You can see a little bit of lowering, actually, with this storm, the base of it, as it's coming off the hills here. See this little hang right there? That's the rain-free base of the storm, we call that. It shows us that it does have some organization to it. You can also see that storm and the base of it from the northeast side of the Colorado Springs metro area around Woodman and Black Forest. looking past Grand Peak Academy there, back towards Cheyenne Mountain. We are getting some lightning, some thunder in the area, but the strongest cells currently are the severe thunderstorm warned one, the one over northern Fremont County, and then the one that we're watching up here across southeastern Douglas County. This one, if you are in northern Black Forest, this one's probably right now producing some hail around ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch in diameter, but it's probably going to strengthen in the next 20 minutes. So this is a storm that we'll watch to potentially have a severe thunderstorm warning on it. It's going to move toward Elbert Highway here, Elbert Road, Elbert Highway. People call it different things. We'll keep an eye on that. That's off to the north of High Forest Ranch right now, to the north of Hodgen Road. Again, just to the north of Palmer Divide, right there on the county line road, Palmer Divide Avenue, and moving toward Highway 83 right now. So folks traveling between Denver and Colorado Springs are going to be impacted by that one. The other cell that now has a severe thunderstorm warning on it is for northern Fremont County. This just got issued by my friends at the Weather Service for the potential for some hail around 1.5 inches in diameter, and wind gusts around 60 miles per hour. That's moving to the southeast at about 20, and that will bring it through the course of the warning toward Highway 50. So heads up for Cotopaxi, for Texas Creek. Those of you in this area, a severe storm is off to your north. It probably stays to the east of Cotopaxi. It'll be a little bit of a close call. Texas Creek will feel the impacts of that. Areas west of Highway 9, off to the southwest of Guffey, dealing with that severe storm as well. And again, it has the potential to produce some hail between 1 inch and 1.5 inches or so in diameter. So the timing of everything working out about like we thought it would, and the storms developing in areas that we thought they would, with that one exception out across the far eastern plains. There's a little bit more what we call convergence there than it looked like previously. And it's just going to be interesting to be here together over the next couple of hours here as these storms coming out of the Pikes Peak region will be sort of the storms of the day that we'll watch. Now, there's a reason that they're forming here, right? We have this upslope flow behind the front that came in last night. And you get the upslope to kind of ride on some of the terrain features here. So we're pushing this air into the southern slopes of the Palmer Divide. We're pushing it into the sides of Pikes Peak, the Pikes Peak Massif here, the big dome of granite that kind of, comes away from America's Mountain there. And those terrain features are where the storms are located at the current time. So what questions do you have? Cindy's checking in, says we've had a few rounds in Divide already this afternoon. Melissa's getting the kid from school in Fountain, and hopefully that thunderstorm gives her a chance to get home. I think you should be okay if you're in the Fountain area and, heading home real quick. Although there is a little bit of new development kind of on the front end of that, not as strong as what's farther to the west, but maybe due to some outflow that is coming down the slopes of Pikes Peak as well. So we'll watch that one as perhaps becoming a new updraft here that maybe ends up a little bit stronger. Let me take you into tomorrow and talk about the weekend really quick. Tomorrow will be a little bit of a different day. Temperatures will be a couple degrees warmer over the plains by just 1 to 3. That gets more areas into the 90s compared to today. We are also going to have storms around again tomorrow. And like today, they'll develop first over and near the mountains, and they'll still kind of roll off to the southeast tomorrow. They're not going to make it as far east on Thursday, I think, as they do today. Getting into the evening, they'll tend to die out a little bit. So it should be a little bit quieter to the east of the interstate. We'll keep an eye on the Raton Mesa, that terrain feature with the early storms that develop could help enhance them into the evening. And some of the strongest storms should be down across that southern tier tomorrow. It's the start of a drying trend that takes us into the weekend here because the area of high pressure shifts. So let me show you what that's going to look like. As we move into Thursday, the high's kind of hanging out. So that's why we still got some storms in the forecast. But then notice here, as we head into Friday, the high shifts east just a little bit. Flow breaks up a touch, a trend that continues into Saturday, especially for the eastern plains. We'll still keep some storms around over the mountains. Highs getting off to the southeast. We're redeveloping this monsoon. There's a system coming in here from the west that eventually will play a role in the forecast. Once it passes the Rocky Mountains and moves into the plains, it'll dry us out a little bit more because there's a second one back behind it. So I think Sunday and Monday we see the monsoon plume thicken up a little bit, then a touch of a drier trend into next week. So that makes our extended forecast look like this. Colorado Springs, best chance of storms after today comes Sunday and Monday as that, monsoon kind of reestablishes, get that little wave to come in. Cold front comes in, about a 10-degree drop between Saturday and Sunday. And then behind that, we get a little bit drier. And Pueblo, that'll be our best chance of storms after today as well, somewhere in that Sunday to Monday time frame. With that cold front that comes in. Mountain areas will have storms around more days than some of the other areas, but we'll even get a little bit of drying into next week as well. And Friday will be a day where the storm coverage is maybe down a little bit more as well. So a little bit of ebb and flow on the thickness of the moisture to deal with here as we move through the afternoon and into next week. Delaney is checking in and says, we've already had some pea-sized hail here. Let me know where you are, Delaney. In Divide. Never mind. I see that. I can read. Thank you. Another round coming for you, and let's go ahead and check that out. So Delaney is watching from the northern slopes of Pikes Peak this afternoon, and there is another little cell off to your west here that we will keep an eye on, and a little bit stronger one, that one I talked about up across northern Teller County and running right across the county line with Teller County, El Paso County, and Douglas County, a couple of cells there to watch. This cell in central Fremont County getting a little bit stronger now. So again, still bringing the potential for some hail, around 1.5 inches in diameter. We're also getting a little bit of a signal that there might be some hail a little bit bigger than that. We will keep an eye on that here over the next little bit. But if we do a cross-section of this, you can see that there's certainly an elevated hail core up in here. That's what this is. And so we will watch that fall out of the storm over the next 10 minutes or so. Again, that storm moving off to the southeast at about 20 miles per hour. One of the tools we look at is called vertically integrated liquid. It takes all of the different slices of the radar and adds up how much water is in there. So it takes the intensity of the radar and it does an integration of that. And you can see this afternoon that it's pretty high. When you get up into the pinks there, it's on the high end of what our radar sees. And so that's one of the reasons, one of the analytical pieces that we use to build the puzzle or build the story of what these storms are likely to do. So 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We've got this one for eastern Fremont County. Did they take El Paso County out of that? No, it's still in there. But just to the north of Canyon City and Penrose, that severe thunderstorm warning up until 3:15. And then one farther. Actually, that's a reissuance of that one, so that's until 3:45 now because we are past 3:15, so that's a new one that was issued. And the second one is also up until 3:45. So we'll keep an eye on both of those storms as we move through the 3 o'clock hour. Storm out to the east of the severe storm is getting a little bit stronger on Highway 115, so there might be some small hail. For those of you that there's some beautiful homes to the west of Highway 115 there. I love that drive between Colorado Springs and Penrose. It's just stunning. What a great place to live. And those storms have weakened a little bit up on the Palmer Divide, so we'll keep an eye on those. These storms out here over the eastern plains, not doing too bad as well. Our cameras that we've got, these are our view cameras. We are building out a camera network here at Peaks to Plains Weather, and we would love for you to be a part of it. If you have a business, a nonprofit group, if you're part of a town council, if you're an emergency manager, if you go up here to the Our View page, you can see the cameras that I'm showing you here. We have a couple up right now. I do have a couple that are up and running that I haven't brought into the system yet. We're doing some network things, but we are growing this out. But check it out on the website here. You can go back in time, and ultimately you'll be able to go back a month and watch time lapses from different days. You can, of course, make these full screen in your web browser. We'll work on getting these into the Peaks to Plains weather app as well. But it is an inexpensive way to be part of what we're doing here at Peaks to Plains Weather and to advertise something if you would like to do that. And we would love to have you be a part of it. So there is a form on that website that I showed you there that you can fill out. And it's a very minimal investment, easy way to be kind of part of what we're doing here at Peaks to Plains Weather. And you can catch that at peakstoplainsweather.com. Brent checking in, asking about Black Forest. And we do have some storms up to the north here that are not as strong as the severe storms, Brent. However, as they continue moving off to the southeast, that may not hold because they are ingesting some pretty rich moisture at the surface, which as that water vapor turns into cloud droplets, eventually raindrops, that releases latent heat and gets the thunderstorm going, imparts energy into the storm. We have southeast wind at the surface, northwest wind aloft. That's enough wind shear to allow the storms to rotate. So we're watching both of these for you in Black Forest. Eastern sections of Black Forest are going to be hit by this cell here that's moving to the southeast at about 20. High Forest Ranch could catch that in about 20 minutes. Other parts of Black Forest, including Cathedral Pines, could catch that as well. Black Forest Regional Park, Section 16 would all be included in that. And then western sections of Black Forest, probably not impacted by the storm that you see farther to the west here that's driving south toward Woodland Park on Highway 67. So Woodland Park, it's looking a little more likely to my eye here that that thing could grab you, and that would come your way in about half an hour, moving at about 20. So heads up for Woodland Park there. You may catch a storm here between now and 4 o'clock. As we said, at 3:21 during this Wednesday afternoon. Let me see if we've got that severe thunderstorm watch that came yet. Not as of yet, but my hunch is we will see that here shortly. All right, if you're just joining us, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings to know about. Off to the northwest and to the northeast of Canyon City. A storm is approaching Highway 50 that is moving toward the Texas Creek area. You can see that storm driving off to the south. The severe thunderstorm warning for that cell is up until 3:45. That storm could be producing some hail between an inch and a half in diameter. And also some cells here that kind of are really right in the terrain pretty hard on the south end of Pikes Peak here. We've got 2 of them. The western cell is moving almost due south at this point, again at about 20 miles per hour. And this new one, I don't have movement on it yet. You can see it's kind of developing here right along Highway 115 between Penrose and Colorado Springs, not too far from the 24 fire. So we'll keep an eye on that burn here. Speaking of burns, we do have a flash flood watch that is up today for the Aspen Acres fire. There's already one that's been issued for tomorrow. We've had it for a number of days now. And just because we get one of those issued, it doesn't mean that we are going to see the burn area get hit. But there's enough of a risk that we want to make you aware of that possibility. So let me take you down here to the burn. And again, we've got one today and we've got one up for tomorrow already as well, because areas south of Highway 50 and west of the interstate might be some of our busier spots for our Thursday. Temperatures feel nice this afternoon behind the front that came in. We've only got a couple spots here that have been around 90 this afternoon. A couple spots getting into the 90s, but lots of areas here are off to the west where we are a little bit cooler with 70s and 80s up against the front range. So we'll keep watching these storms here. You know, it's not the hottest air that we've seen this summer to develop thunderstorms, but the temperature isn't always the most important thing. Usually it's the moisture and how that's interacting with the terrain that we kind of keep an eye on here. Okay, so now we are watching up across the southeast side of Teller County. I've got the hail detection on here, and you can see that it is starting to ping up around or even a little bit above an inch and a half in diameter. That's kind of what those darker gold or orangish colors are, where the automated detection algorithms are seeing that. If we slice these storms, we can see that, you know, they've got pretty intense cores inside of them as well. And this one coming down the hills now is popping up above 30,000 feet. So that's one of the other things we can do to analyze the intensity of storms, is to see how high up into the atmosphere they are. And it shows you, it's a good way to see where the updraft of the storm is. So check this out here. You can see those two cores that are severe, or severe warned, I should say, in northeast Fremont County, and the severe core that is farther to the west in the north central part of the county. And watch this over the last 2 hours. I'm going to slow it down, and you'll get, this is a kind of a cool way to look at this and watch this, how these storms develop. So you can see that, I mean, what you're seeing here is kind of the clouds bubbling up. And you can see that the cell on Highway 115, just to the east of there now, is actually the highest cloud top that we just saw. That's the one that's punching up above 30,000. So we'll keep an eye on that one. It could take some of the fuel from this one back behind it. That'll be interesting to watch how those evolve over the next 15 minutes. And you can see how the other storms have gone up this afternoon. I think it's kind of cool to see on a sort of broader view as well how the storms develop. This shows you the bubbling up of storms that we've been watching on our view cameras this afternoon. You can see what those look like here. Kissing Camels, still a dark and stormy sky off to the south. We're hearing some thunder from that area. Pulled back a little bit farther here, you can see that it is still dark on the southwest side of Colorado Springs also. Let me pull up my camera tool here. Give me a moment, getting something set up behind the scenes. All right, one of the tools I like to use is just kind of looking out the window with eyeballs. And let me pull up a couple different cameras here in Fremont County. So we've got a couple cameras that we're kind of watching. A couple of them on the bottom there are in Castle Rock, where these storms are kind of do a 7-10 split on us, I think. In Coaldale, we are catching some rain. You can see that here in the top left-hand corner. And at Pueblo Community College on the backside of Skyline Drive, you can see some folks cruising along Highway 50. Certainly dark there, but we are not getting any rain as of yet. And we'll keep an eye on that here over the next little bit, as these storms rolling across Fremont County right now are kind of the strongest storms that we have going so far this afternoon. Getting a little bit closer to Highway 50, though, moving toward Texas Creek, where Highway 69 comes up there. We will watch that. The old Echo area there. And then storms rolling toward 4 Mile here, right on Highway 67, rolling toward the golf course. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Penrose, it looks like you are in the path of these storms, and so we'll watch those also as we head toward 4 o'clock. There's also a severe thunderstorm up into the northern part of the state. We'll keep an eye on the Denver metro area as well. Some of these storms here developing off to the northwest of Fort Collins, like our storms around here, are going to move off to the southeast, and like our storms could produce some large hail. I just don't think those ones are going to last as long into the evening as the storms that we get over southern Colorado. See that storm that has crossed I-25 here up on the north end of El Paso County. Getting a little bit stronger in the last couple of frames. And let me try to grab a couple cameras up that way and show you that, you know, we've got a real kind of dark sky here. Looking up north toward Monument there with those thunderstorms you can see from Interquest. You can tell those have water in them. Heavy rain is also something that we're going to watch with these storms out there for today. And I am really surprised they haven't issued a severe thunderstorm watch yet. Doesn't matter, we'll keep rolling, right? The environment to me looks right for that. But maybe they're in the process of processing that and getting it ready right now. The storms over the eastern plains off to the east of Lyman and mainly to the south of Interstate 70 are putting out some outflow. See that right here? This is also an enhancement of the trough that we've had out in this area. These storms are getting a little bit stronger, especially the middle one of the three that you see off to the east of Hugo. That is not too far off of the Kit Carson County line in eastern Lincoln County, about 15 miles to the east of Hugo. Moving to the southeast at 20. That's going to take it into northwest Cheyenne County between now and 4 o'clock as we now sit here at 3:30 on our Wednesday afternoon. So, crew, what questions do you have? What comments do you have? One of the things I love about this is being able to interact with you and be able to answer your questions, concerns that you have. The Colorado Springs Metro is going to be impacted by some of these storms here up across the northern reaches of El Paso County as they move off to the southeast. So really it's between now and about dinner time that we'll keep an eye on things here very, very closely. I would encourage you to download the Peaks to Plains weather app if you haven't done that as of yet. We do have our buddy Matt Manillo was in the Larkspur area. Let's see, what time was that? This was about 15 minutes ago. Sent me some 1-inch diameter hail that he had. And I will upload that into our system here so you can see that. Pretty good ice ball. That will, you know, cause you some issues if it hits you. So let me show you that here this afternoon. I see Matt now in his truck, Blue Thunder. Matt, let me get your photo up real quick that you sent, and then I'll bring you in, and you can tell me where you are and kind of what you're seeing. So our storm chaser, Matt Manillo, here this afternoon, joining us on Peaks to Plains weather up on the Palmer Divide with some storms rolling through the area. Here is a look at the hail that he saw a little bit ago, about 15 minutes ago, and he comes in and he joins us now. Matt, thanks for being with us here on Peaks to Plains weather. I appreciate you taking time from chasing this afternoon, my man. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me, Matt?
I can. I got you. Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. So I am on county line just east of I-25, and I'm going to try and point you out front here. Got a decent amount of small hail coming down, keys to maybe a few half-inch stones mixing in. So a lot of heavy rain too.
And where were you, Maddie?
Basically in the pink that you're seeing on your radar right there, just
Okay.
north of Woodmore.
Got it. Man, you're sure good at finding those cores, my friend. I tell you what. Did you follow that storm south from Larkspur?
Yeah, I kind of I hit the core of it, and then saw that this one was popping up again. Oops, 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I hit that first core, and it kind of peaked right on top of me, and I got the 1-inch hail for a few minutes. And then I saw that this one was popping up, and I was only about 5 minutes away, so I was able to shoot down south and then get into this hail core real quick.
Nice. Okay, well, you are in the thick of it. And of course, Matt with his truck, Blue Thunder. Tell us a little bit about your truck, Matt, because you can take your vehicle into the hail cores, and you've built it to be able to do that.
Yeah, so it's fully covered in spray-on bed line, so it toughens up the outside a little bit. Get up to about tennis ball to maybe baseball stick before seeing any dents, if any. So, well, most of the hail we get around here is smaller than that, so never have to worry about hail dents, and can drive into any storm I want.
Nice. Well, I know hail is your thing. The license plate says more hail, and he's right in the core right now. So nothing that, at the moment that you are seeing that is severe, but the Weather Service just went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning for that cell and for the cell that's back behind it, coming into northeastern Teller County there, and that will eventually end up into the Air Force Academy here, as both of those are moving off to the southeast. So why don't you go ahead and kind of keep an eye on that thing? Feel free to pop back in whenever you can. If you're getting some hail that's up around an inch, pop in and let us know, and we'll bring you back on.
All right, sounds good, Matt. Talk to you
Okay.
soon.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Good to have him out there telling us what is happening with ground truth out there right now. So again, earlier he had some 1-inch diameter hail in the Larkspur area. He has calipers so he can get a true measurement of that. And you can see that it is, looks like was slightly bigger than an inch there. And now he is sitting right in this core that is coming into El Paso County. So let's go over the new severe thunderstorm warnings that we have. This is for Woodland Park, northern sections of the Air Force Academy. This is for the Tri-Lakes. This is for areas along and west of I-25 in the hills. This includes Palmer Lake. It includes Highway 83 on the western side of Black Forest, and it does include extreme northern sections of the Colorado Springs metro area here, all the way out toward Meridian Ranch and Peyton, because of these couple clusters that you see here. So these things could, over the next 30 minutes, have some hail between an inch and an inch and a half in diameter, and they will pulse a little bit. They'll go through 10 to 15 minute windows where the hail size will be a little bit bigger and then a little bit smaller. Right now, with these cells, take the storm tracks off there, we are measuring everything, kind of like what Matt said, most of the hail below an inch. Obviously, that's good news. What we want to happen today is we want the rain. If we're going to have hail, we want it to be small. We don't want to see this stuff pop up to 1.5 to 2 inch diameter. But the atmosphere has that as a possibility here this afternoon. There is also a severe thunderstorm warning for extreme southern Douglas County, including the West Creek area on Highway 67. So this is the south central part of Douglas County until 4:15. For that hail core that is moving through that area. All of these cells, the three that you see here, are moving to the southeast at between 10 and 20 miles per hour. I'm putting them at about 15 right now as I look at this. And that means that it'll be kind of a slow movement. So, heavy rain with these as well could cause some issues. The storm's a little bit farther to the south as we transition to that area is still looking really, really strong here, not just on radar, but really good from our camera in Woodman Heights as well. And I'm going to move this camera to the west here a little bit. Let me do that while we're looking at it. And we'll do that together. And I can still see a real nicely defined base there with that storm. You can also see a little bit of inflow. That's what the clouds here are. Let me annotate this for you here. These are little inflow bands as clouds are starting to condense with some of the inflow that the storm is ingesting. But these ones are pretty strong here, and we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. It includes most of far eastern Fremont County until 4:15 this afternoon. This storm is also capable of producing some wind gusts that could be over 40 miles per hour, and with time here might be a little bit stronger than that. See what the wind is doing right now. This is the outflow from this storm, and not too bad as of yet, but that may change over the next 20 minutes or so as the storm rolls off to the south. So Penrose, you are included in this. Florence, Rockvale, just to the east of Canyon City, the Brookside area, all included in this new severe thunderstorm warning. And let me time it out for you here. I will grab the leading edge of the cores. So this would be kind of when the, more significant rain and potentially the hail would get to your area. We've got about a 20-minute heads up for Penrose, and then a concrete plant there on Highway 50 included in that. And a new severe thunderstorm warning now issued for the rest of Fremont County to the south of the storm that's crossing Highway 50 right now. And about 3:45, it's 3:40 right now. We told you it would cross Highway 50 at 3:45, and that is going to work out here. So Texas Creek is taking a direct hit with that and should be moving toward Custer County, the line there, in about 40 minutes or so. So we'll keep an eye on those as well. So right in the heart of the viewing area here this afternoon, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings are currently ongoing. Severe storm coverage on Peaks to Plains weather is made possible by Tamco Building Products and their Hail Guard shingles beyond Class 4. I am going to do a quick social media post. I will run a couple of commercials to keep the light on here during that, and then I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You are watching severe storm coverage on Peaks to Plains weather, our weather together.
This is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified Tamco installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.
Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&B Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for evacuation orders, law enforcement activity, missing persons, and more. Choose up to 5 locations that matter to you, like home, work, and school, so you know what's going on and what to do next. It's free, easy to set up, and designed to keep you in control. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
Employee pricing is over, but at Fremont Ford in Motor City, American value still means something. Colorado's best season, Fremont's biggest discounts of the year, 0% financing, no payments for 90 days. And I'll throw $1,000 towards your down payment. Plus, get a complimentary 2-year premium maintenance plan.
That's the Phil Long way.
We'll beat any deal by $750, and we'll prove it only at the original Ford store in Motor City.
Hey, Matt, I can't hear you.
Jeff, go ahead, bud.
Just saw some. Oh, gotcha now. Yeah. I'm in Falcon heading down 24 toward town. I got a football game to officiate, maybe, if it's going to happen. So I thought I'd have a prime viewing spot here of the mountains and everything to show you so I can leave this up for however long.
What high school are you going to?
Actually, Gary Berry Stadium.
Okay, and is it a flag football game you're doing or tackle?
Middle school, 7th and 8th grade games.
Okay. Well, thanks for doing that. We need officials in our secondary levels, and that's super kind of you to do that and to give your time back to our youth in that way. What does the storms, like, what are you seeing to your eye out there this afternoon that would be of use to us, Jeff?
I haven't been, I've been kind of, I just left home, so I haven't been watching too closely. Trotted up there. It's off to the right, I think. Probably can't see it. Yeah, I mean, hazy looking. So that's probably, so there's definitely precip out there.
Sure.
Yeah.
See a little bit of an inflow band there, kind of just on top of that white or silver truck in front of you. And that core coming off the hills. That storm does have a severe thunderstorm warning on it. It's sitting right on Highway 115 right now. And, you know, thankfully you aren't in that thing, but there are some storms to the north of where you're headed that may roll across Colorado Springs. So you guys make sure that you and the athletes stay safe out there at Gary Berry. And I appreciate you calling in, Jeff.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Always great to have him be part of our coverage here on Peaks to Plains Weather. This is the cell he was looking at, the one just to the north of Penrose. And there's two little cores there that could be putting down some hail around an inch in diameter. And you can see those here. This is part of the 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. They are both up until 4:30 here. One's until 4:15, one 4:30 this afternoon. But they're getting closer and closer to areas of greater population. So the Adelaide area has seen one storm roll through on Highway 67. I think Penrose is going to get hit probably by this western of these two little cells here. There's another one that's going up between the severe thunderstorm warnings. And we have one here on Highway 50 now off to the west of Canyon City, just to the east of Texas Creek. That's the second little cell that we have seen this afternoon in that area. Also keeping our eye on storms off to the north of where Jeff was here. The strongest of which is the one that is in northeastern Teller County and south central Douglas County, right on Highway 67. The storms on the interstate, where we were talking to Matt Manillo earlier, not as strong. Those ones haven't held together as well. Some of the biggest hail on Highway 83, right on the county line now to the north of Highway 105, out around the Monument Academy secondary campus that they have out there. That cell is just to the north of there. All of this is drifting to the southeast here at about 15 miles per hour, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning up for northern El Paso County until 4:15 this afternoon. Let's look at what the wind is doing inside these storms, and it's not too bad here as of yet. Green indicating that the wind is moving toward the radar in northeast Pueblo County. Really, wind not measuring much of an issue at all with those at the present time. So that is some good news. I mean, we want the rain and we want the hail to stay as small as possible this afternoon. And if that ends up working out, we'll take it. You can see where these updrafts are here, echo tops measured from radar. So as the beams, we take different cross sections of beams with the radar. We can measure how tall the tops of these storms are, and that shows you right where the updraft is. Jeff is looking at those here from his shot as he drives toward Colorado Springs. I think is that Mark Scheffel he's at in 24 there, perhaps? Constitution. Thank you, sir. Hard for me to read that. So, he's looking at those storms off to the southwest of town, and this is the cluster that he's looking at there. That he sees as he is driving into Colorado Springs. Let's check our social media here and see what all of you are saying here. And Shadowhawk says every one of these storms is going to dodge Canyon City. Hashtag donut hole. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I know everybody thinks that all of the storms always go around them. They don't. It just seems that way sometimes. I mean, the area of the thunderstorm that is the most intense part is typically pretty small, right? Like inside these cores here. So the area where you would get the largest hailstones is not all that big, usually. That's why Matt Manillo, he's out there. If you talk to him, he'll tell you, and if you chase storms, you'll find that there's about, 6 to 8% at best, usually, of the hailstones that are in a hail swath are kind of the highest variety. Lots of them are often smaller than what the biggest hailstone reports are. So there you go. Let's talk about what happens here into the evening. And I'll use Skycast to show you that and the evolution of things from where we are right now. So there's a new version of this that's actually doing a pretty decent job of kind of showing the clustering of storms from El Paso into Fremont County. It's missing some storms in some other places, but that's okay. They're never going to bat 100%. But these storms will continue to shift to the southeast. And after about 6:30 or so, we will transition from a large hail threat being the biggest concern to more of a wind threat as these storms kind of cluster up out over the eastern plains, and they'll continue to produce heavy rain through the evening. So we have this window here, and the storms are kind of just, getting into the western third of this area right now, where we're a little more likely to catch severe weather than some other parts of the region. It's like this alleyway, if you will, of hail potential as storms come off of the Rockies and encounter the low-level moisture behind the front that came in last night. That low-level moisture is fuel for storms. And so with where the storms are right now, notice how they are actually moving into an area that has more potential, more energy for thunderstorm activity. So I'm going to get this into a mode where I can annotate here, right? So the storms right now are, let me grab a color that'll make sense, given what my color table is on this map. Okay, so our storms are kind of back in here right now, right? And so as they move southeast, they move into this area that has fresh, or what we call virgin air. Low-level moisture out here. This is the air that these storms are going to ingest. And so we'll see new updrafts, like there'll be this bubbling up of the updrafts. They'll get strong for a while, then they collapse, and then they'll go up again. That's what I expect between now and dinner time. So between now and 6 or 6:30. Let me look at a couple of other things here. Keep an eye on some of these cameras. And we are getting some rain now in Woodland Park as that storm gets a little bit closer to the city above the clouds. You can see that here. County Line Road. Here's Woodland Park catching some. I-25 at County Line Road. We're getting that thunderstorm activity. A little bit to the north of there, near the Larkspur area. We are to the south of the storms here. So Upper Lake Gulch is moving along okay. And traffic even on top of Monument Hill isn't being impacted in too negative of a way. Let me look at the storms here in Fremont County. Got a good view of some of the storms from the Penrose area. None of the storms are underneath the warning right now. Baptist, we're catching some showers for the second day in a row here. Monument, we're catching some thunderstorms, as you can see. And nothing particularly heavy at the moment. These storms have been well behaved. Kind of like once the severe thunderstorm warning got put on them, they got a little less excited about being close to severe levels, and kind of goes that way sometimes. But you can see these cells still drifting south here up across the northern parts of El Paso County. And as you saw on our traffic cameras, we are getting some rain up in this area. So people are using the windshield wipers. They have the lights on. The storm approaching Penrose has weakened a little bit. That's good news. You can see that core collapsing. And the storm that crossed Highway 50 just to the east of Texas Creek is continuing off to the southeast here. These storms are going to impact the Aspen Acres fire, which we do have a flash flood watch out for. We had some flooding yesterday, so we'll keep an eye on you guys here over the next hour and a half to 90 minutes. Some thunderstorms up on the north end now of Custer County in the Wet Mountain Valley to the north of West Cliff and Silver Cliff, just developing in the last 12 minutes on Highway 69, just to the south of the county line. We'll watch what that one does, as these updrafts have been going up, staying mature for about 20 minutes, and then collapsing a little bit. Out across the eastern plains, haven't forgot about those of you in Lincoln County, Kit Carson, Cheyenne County here to the west of Highway 59 and to the east of Highway 287, off to the east of the Genoa-Hugo area. And, these cells, we've got that one kind of middle updraft that we've been watching is still not severe. They have put out an outflow boundary. You can see that outflow here moving across Highway 287 over the last 20 minutes. All right, so the north side of Colorado Springs, we're looking north from Northgate where the storms are moving in. Not raining yet at this camera, but these storms do have a severe thunderstorm warning on them. TAMCO Live Radar shows that. They have weakened, though, as I said, since the severe thunderstorm warning got issued. But we are getting some rain a little bit farther to the north. We've talked to Matt Manillo, our storm chaser out there this afternoon. He did catch some 1-inch diameter hail with one of these storms in the Larkspur area. This was about an hour ago, I think now. But since then, all of the hail has been smaller than that. And I think you would agree with me that that is good news. Canyon City, we do have a little cell developing to the north of us here. And who was that in our chat that said, oh yeah, hey, he's going to miss a shadow hawk, right? Hashtag donut hole. Hashtag maybe not is what I'm saying. We'll watch that storm. It is to the north, and it may be eyeballing you guys. If it's moving to the south at about 20 miles per hour, would get it to you here between now and about 4:20 or so. I know some of you are laughing right now. If you know, you know. Highway 69 there, getting a storm that has intensified. So that one could be putting down some inch hail. You can see that it matches kind of the intensity of the storm up to the north. Usually our hail detection algorithm lags behind a little bit. It's not picking up on stuff yet, but we will keep an eye on that. It has intensified really, really fast here in the last 15 minutes. That one's going to roll just sort of kind of right along the bottom of the Wet Mountain Valley. Did just get a severe thunderstorm watch issued here for eastern Colorado. It's until 11 o'clock. It includes Colorado Springs. It includes Pueblo. It includes Denver, Walsenburg, Trinidad, out toward La Junta. For everybody in eastern Colorado, it does include Teller County as well. It does not include Prowers County or Baca County, but it does include everybody else. And let me see if that is into my system yet. Takes a little bit for those things to kind of process through the system. And yeah, I don't see it in there as of yet. There we go. It is in there. Okay. So this is until 11 o'clock tonight. You see the ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings that we have, and you see the severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. So everybody out along Highway 50, like I said, the Springs, Pueblo, even Custer County, Fremont County, since you have ongoing severe storms in there, that's not a big surprise. Kiowa County, Cheyenne County, Kit Carson County, Elbert County, Douglas County, Lincoln County, Crowley County, you are included in there as well. Huerfano County, Los Animas County. So we're going to be dealing with this for a while. And that's what Peaks to Plains weather is all about, my friends. If you'd like to call in at some point during the evening, if a severe thunderstorm approaches your area, we'll keep the door open for you, as we like to say. We've had Jeff join us this afternoon on a trip into town here to go hopefully ref a junior high football game. We've had our storm chaser Matt Manillo call in as well. You can put one of these links into your phone. Go outside, show us what's happening. Maybe if you get hit by hail, maybe if there's heavy rain, you want to show us how much is in the rain gauge. You want to come on and ask a question, make a comment. We welcome that also. But these storms up on the Palmer Divide have really kind of weakened here over the last little bit. Canyon City, we got a storm coming toward you. Penrose, we've got a storm coming toward you. These things have been pulsing a little bit. They've been going up. They're strong for a little bit. They go through a weakening phase, and then they pulse back up. We often see that with severe thunderstorms. Strongest cell right now is actually in Custer County, off to the north of West Cliff, right on Highway 69 by about 9 miles or so. That one is going to move toward the heart of the valley here over the next 30 to 40 minutes. And so we'll keep an eye on that for you. 4:02 now. Our active warnings are until 4:30, until 4:15. And in El Paso County, we have an active warning up on the north end until 4:15 as well. Storm coverage on Peaks to Plains weather made possible by Tamco Building Products and their Hail Guard shingles beyond Class 4. Want to take a moment here and show you the Peaks to Plains weather app. If you haven't downloaded yet, I want to give you a couple of reasons why you should download it. So let me get this set up here so I can broadcast my screen to you. Crew, we really are trying to make what we are doing here at Peaks to Plains Weather intimate, genuine, and helpful. And hopefully you have found that to be the case. If you have found that to be the case, we would ask that you tell your friends about Peaks to Plains Weather. Sure would mean a lot to Mary and I and Rachel. Okay, I am going to go into the weather map feature. And there are several things that you can do in this part of our app. In the bottom right-hand corner, right above where I have alerts there's a little kind of a hamburger menu. You can do a few things there. You can change what the base map looks like. You can put satellite imagery on there. And then below that is an area, and you can see I've done this several times here. You can customize what is being displayed on this map for you. So right now I've got lightning strikes on there. I have a severe one that shows me where the current severe thunderstorm warnings are, and I can interact with those. I can read the warnings. You can also put tracks on here like I've done now, so you can see the storms being tracked off to the southeast. You can see that if you click on the storm tracks here, they'll tell you what kind of storm it is, have hailstorm information there. This is very rich information, and we want to put these tools in your hands. You can put weather, like winter weather stuff in there, road conditions during the winter. There's all kinds of things you can do. I also have clouds and radar saved here. So this is actual data that takes us into the future. So this is model data that shows the storms rolling out across the plains. You can also check the current data here by looking at the past. It takes you from about 2:05, the last 2 hours, into the current situation of the radar that we've got out there this afternoon. You can look at the hourly forecast for where you are. You can look at the days ahead forecast for where you are. We tweak these things. We edit these things. So, you know, it's not just automated data from a model, particularly in the winter. We hone in on that more to really focus on the impacts and that sort of thing. It's a little bit harder to do during the summer months when we have thunderstorms rolling through. But we're really trying hard to give you a good product. And we thank our partners who have made this possible, who are advertising here on Peaks to Plains Weather. And we encourage you to support them when you have decisions to make as a consumer. All right, let's check this storm out that's coming into Canyon here. Shadowhawk says, oh, hopefully I didn't jinx it on the way into town. And it is weakening a little bit, you'll be glad to know, which I'm sure you're laughing about. But let me show you a couple cameras that are in the vicinity of that storm here. So you can see here, kind of off to the east of Canyon City, looking back toward the foothills near the old Portland cement area. You can see some of the rain sheets back there with the storms that are over Fremont County. It's not raining in that area, but we're also keeping an eye on things from Penrose, where we have some storms just to the north of this camera here that are moving our way. Good news right now is they are not as strong as they were a while ago. The exception being this storm that is over the Wet Mountain Valley, sitting right on Highway 69. That one is putting down some hail between 1/2 inch and 1 inch in diameter and is the strongest storm of the bunch right now. So given that we have a little bit of a lull in the action, the severe thunderstorm warning actually has been canceled for northern El Paso County because those storms kind of puked out a little bit, which isn't bad because now we're just getting rain and some small hail with them. I'm going to take a little short break. I'm going to reset. I'm going to get some things ready for some of our other properties, and we'll plan on hopping back in at 4:30. So 4:30, we'll hop back in. We will give you coverage. If you'd like to be part of it, you can always do so here on Peaks to Plains Weather, Our Weather Together. We always invite you to be part of what we are doing. We invite you to come alongside your neighbors to help share information when you can, whether that's putting some chat in social media or whether it is coming on and giving a report like we've had a few people do out there today. So we do have thunderstorms rolling through the region. The newest thing we've got for you is that we do have a severe thunderstorm watch up for southeastern Colorado and for our neighbors to the north until 11 p.m. this evening. It includes the cities of Monument, Colorado Springs, Pueblo, Canyon City, Walsenburg, Trinidad, over the plains, La Junta, Olney Springs, Kit Carson, Kiowa County is included in this. Up across the Palmer Divide, Kiowa is included in this. Elizabeth, Franktown, Castle Rock, all included in this severe thunderstorm watch. So we'll take a short break. We'll reset. We'll be back at 4:30, my friends, to cover the additional thunderstorm activity. I'll give you a look here into the evening. We'll do the extended forecast. And depending on what's happening with the weather, we'll probably plan on doing about at least 30 minutes of coverage. And if the severe thunderstorms warrant, we will do more than that. So you are on Peaks to Plains Weather, Our Weather Together, and we appreciate you being part of our coverage here on this Wednesday afternoon as we have 7 hours to go of a severe thunderstorm watch for eastern Colorado.
This is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.